Alright, moving on. The game, for the most part, is going to appear with this sort of... Look at the mini-map in the top right corner of the screen. That little pathway that you see is pretty much the only direction that we can go. But there are some minor branching pathways like this that allow you to go off and find treasures or something like that. And there are some fairly insignificant different pathways you can take to... Oh, strength goes down. But she's not a commando, so it's a stat reduction I'm willing to take. For the most part, though, your characters are just going to be running down corridors. And that is where another one of the major criticisms of this game come into play. And it's one that I can't really defend that much. I know the reason why they did it was because they felt like in this generation of consoles where everything was HD and character models were more complex and all that kind of stuff, that making proper towns and all that kind of stuff would simply require too much effort. I'm gonna have to fight him like that. And I can get that change was something that was going to be a rather daunting thing to deal with. Because, I mean, even in, say, like, Final Fantasy XII had a long dev cycle for its era of something like 5 years. And, I mean, it had proper towns and all that kind of stuff. But even then, like, look how detailed these characters are. They don't look terribly detailed by modern standards. Like, especially their hands. If I can get a view of her hands. They look terrible. Look at that. But characters at this level of detail, this level of geometry, this level of texture work and all that kind of stuff certainly require a lot more effort than even Final Fantasy XII did a few years earlier. And... why'd you jump up here? Like, even if you can get close, you can see all this extra detail. That requires extra work to put into. Same thing with the environment. Look at the environment they're in. That requires extra work putting into it. And plus, everything is voiced in this game, unlike 12. So, there's no enemies here. Stop talking. All of this stuff requires more effort, and that's why game dev cycles are becoming longer and longer and requiring more and more money. And saying, like, well, you gotta build this new game exactly like the old ones, well, that scared them a little bit. And they didn't end up... They decided, like, oh, well, we can't.
This just might work.
We simply can't build the game like the way we did the old ones. So,
Magic may be cursed, but it makes us stronger, doesn't it?
they eliminated towns.
Put it to good use.
They eliminated towns. Everything had a very linear progression, pathway, all that kind of stuff advancing through. Although, to a certain extent, it's always been that way. And it rubs people the wrong way. Now, Final Fantasy... Oh, fuck. Hold on.
We fight it! Ragnarok! That's the reason we're fal'cie. To stop it. To keep Cocoon safe.
Yeah, why don't you give us one reason to believe that? One reason.
Sarah. She said to protect Cocoon. And then she turned to Crystal. That's the proof right there. She completed her focus. That means ours is to save Cocoon. Sarah's fal'cie was the same as ours. Our focus has got to be the same. We were chosen to be guardians. To defeat Ragnarok. It makes sense.
What the hell it does? You're grasping at straws, son. Post-fal'cie are Cocoon's enemies. We just got recruited by one of them. If I were a betting man, I'd put us on the other side.
So Sarah's an enemy too? Well, I don't buy it. We have the power to save Cocoon if we work together and carry out our focus.
The fal'cie took Sarah from us, and you want to help it? Whose side are you on?
Freeze! Place your hands behind your heads! You fall off the purge train?
Maybe.
Or are you talking back to me? Huh? Huh?
Nice gun.
Stop her!
Another battle against Sanctum soldiers. Command execution. What the hell are they talking about? Oh, we've been doing that the entire time. I don't know why they put a tutorial for that this far into it. The enemies are still a little bit too easy at this point in the game to really get a good handle on the paradigm system and all that. The fights end too quickly. Oh, Chrystogen points? We got 21. That's what they're called.
I thought they'd be tougher than that. This guy's a psychom, yeah? Supposed to be cream of the crop.
Yeah, but SciComm's an anti-pulse task force. They haven't fought a war in centuries. Bunch of rookie troops swinging around overpriced toys.
So, from what you're telling me, sounds like a regular old soldier has got more training than special forces.
Nothing for us fal'cie to be afraid of.
Cut the crap. Their grunts might be green, but SciComm's elites are cold-blooded beasts. They hit the field and it's game over.
Uh-oh. Then let's run away. Ciao!
Hey, wait! What's a man to do?
Well, we have, wait, is this one I already got? Yeah. Snow seems, to a certain extent, to be kind of an unflappable individual. He doesn't really get depressed too often, although we have seen it happen a few times. So it usually takes something rather significant for his emotions to sort of sink. He keeps being referred to as being all talk. Now, that's not quite true, but he does flap his gums a little bit more than he probably should. Like, well, he's just trying to talk himself into believing all of these things about himself and all of these things about the situation that are much more rosy than they actually are. Sarah's not dead. Their focus is to save Cocoon, not destroy it. I don't know, I mean, it's staring everybody right in the face that as fal'cie, they are not on the side of Cocoon. And these Sanctum troops, if they're aware that these people are fal'cie, then they probably would have shot them on sight rather than trying to take them prisoner and then stick them back on the purge train. I got a few more points. See if I can maybe stick them into something. Oh. Haha. We did see him lose his temper a few times when Snow was talking back to him, and he lost his composure when Hope's mother died. So he's not completely unflappable, but he's definitely trying to talk himself into thinking things that are better than they actually are. Lightning is driven. What exactly is pushing her forward anymore? She thinks her sister's dead. She's an enemy of Cocoon as a fal'cie and all that. These enemies are tougher. But she's still pushing herself forward for some reason. Her character is harder to read because she's not overt with her emotions in any capacity. Vanille, we still don't know what the deal with her is. She's there for some reason. You get the impression that she's there because she was following Hope around, protecting him in some capacity, but she's too cheery. she's the one providing the narration. She says stuff earlier on like, I smile all the time, but I'm always scared, all that kind of stuff. So, what she puts forward and what she shows people is really just some sort of an act. Hope, he's a kid, he's afraid, he's not here, so I can't focus the camera on him. Characters ran that way, but I'm going this way. Hope is a scared child. He doesn't know what to do about the situation. He doesn't want to be here. He doesn't want to be lumped in with these people, but he has really no choice at this point. They're moving forward, so he's moving with them. He hates Snow. He wants Snow gone. He wants to talk back to Snow, but the only time he managed to do it, Snow got angry and pushed him over, and then he crawled away because he was afraid of him. He's too timid, and he's the character that I'd say I actually feel the most sorry for out of this group. Even though Snow lost his fiancée and Lightning lost her sister, he's the character that I feel the most sorry for. Saz, later on in the story, will find that he's got to be pretty sympathetic to him, too. Saz we don't really know much about, but some of the cheer that he had earlier on in the game, he's moving forward. In a sense, he gung-ho participation in every single thing that they've done so far. Gotta kill the fal'cie, or gotta kill the fal'cie. Big, crazy movement, like, well, I got these guns, I might as well get in there now. Well, perhaps now that he's gone, and hey, there we go. HP increased by 100. That brings her HP up to a point where she's not completely just getting her ass kicked every fight. Saz we don't know much about, though. More will be revealed later, of course. That's the way that these things work. And he's actually probably one of my more favorite characters in this game. We have new items to buy, although I'm not buying any of this crap. Not yet. It's the same shit as before. A lot of the money you end up making is not by just defeating enemies, though. It's by selling all of this crap. I'm not going to do that on camera, though. That takes a while.
Here, didn't it? Of all the messed up ways to meet, I might as well make introductions. I'm Snow Villiers. Short stuff?
Hope Estime.
What about her?
Bodum Security Regiment. She goes by Lightning. Last name's Farron. First, anybody's guess.
Vanille.
Saz, Catsroy. Good to meet you. It's not right. Why kids have to get dragged into this?
I'll keep the kids out of trouble.
Problem with that is, you're one of them.
Hey,
Trying to take on the fal'cie. That was our first mistake. We should have left it to the Sanctum. Why not? I mean, we've counted on the Sanctum's fal'cie for food, water, everything we've needed since the time we were born.
but you still helped us do it. Why's that? Gotta be something.
There might have been. Not so sure anymore.
It's kind of strange that it is only at this moment that our characters choose to introduce themselves to each other. They were talking and all that kind of stuff. Names didn't get thrown about earlier than that. It is kind of like a nice change in the sense that at this point, something had been a little bit overly common in a lot of games where the story of all the characters had some sort of like fairly close relationship with each other. Now, it hasn't always been that way. They're not always best friends and all that kind of stuff. Like, if you want to point to Final Fantasy VII, say Cloud and Barret weren't particularly friendly with each other. They warmed up to each other a little bit later on, but even later on in the game, you had something like Cid talking about Cloud, said like, oh, I didn't dislike him. That kind of stuff. But for the most part, all the characters always got along with each other for the bulk of the game. Now, we have a bunch of characters here, they don't even know each other. We're not going to pretend that they're friends. In fact, some of them are rather friendly with each other. Like Vanille tries to be friends with everybody. Hope isn't interested in being friends with anybody. Neither is Lightning. Saz, well, we're here. Everybody stuck with these bunch of kids. I guess I better stick with them. All that kind of thing. The characters aren't even really... I get the impression that a lot of these people, if they thought they could go it alone, they would. Lightning is only with these people because she... Well, we'll find later at least. I might as well just talk about it now.
No problem.
The only reason why I think Lightning's sticking with all these people is because she has a mission that she wants to do, and better safety in numbers, better chance of pulling off what she wants to do with all of these other people. That being said, she doesn't like Snow here, but she at least recognizes that he's capable enough of a fighter, so, well, might as well come. She doesn't know her. Everyone else ran off, so I can't look at them. Nothing here. Ah, there we are. Sometimes it pays to take a glance around. Some more Sanctum troops up that way. I just want to take a moment to show that although the leveling system is fairly limited and your character is going to grow in a fairly linear fashion, deciding what kind of equipment to go in your characters, like your weapons will just get better as you go along. Be some stat declining, but for the most part, it's just going upward. Your accessory, though, there is only one accessory. It's not like the old school armor, though, where you have like arm armor and chest armor and all that kind of stuff. You only get one slot, and it's not just an upward growth in terms of defense and all that kind of stuff. So depending on what kind of stuff you're going to equip your characters, their stats are going to be pretty significantly different. So trying to make up for Lightning's lack of health, I increased her HP by 100 by putting this up, the silver bangle on, and tried to maximize Snow's strength because he's my default commando at the moment, put the power wristband on. So though eventually we're going to see that Lightning will end up having higher strength damage than Snow does, at least I think she will, maybe it'll be equal through most of the game. At the moment, his strength is 93 compared to the 59 of hers, and vastly greater than the 28 strength that Vanille has going. So, what you decide to equip on your characters can be a pretty significant difference with them. So it'd only be 73 if I took this off, and let's say I put it on Vanille here, because it's her lowest stat, increasing her strength to 48. That won't make a huge bit of a difference with her character, though, because she doesn't rely on physical strength to do a lot of her damage, and her physical strength growth is going to be minimal throughout the game. So, it's probably where the biggest decisions that you have to make in this game about what you're going to do with your characters, what kind of stat growth you're going to have with your characters, and all that kind of stuff. Not as significant as the sphere grid in 10, or even the license system in 12, which, I don't know, I tended to grow all of my characters in the same fashion. He's like, well, there's a plus 10 strength here. I'm gonna go do that with this character or whatever.
The train fell too. I wonder what else is down here.
Probably a bunch of corpses. Although I hear the international version, which was re-released for the PC.
Sarah.
Sarah! Sarah. I'll get you out of there. Thanks.
This is goodbye.
Lightning! You're just gonna leave her?
SciComm will be here soon. If they find us, we're all dead. You think Sarah'd want that? You think you know how she feels?
If I leave her, then I'll never know. We'll be fine. I can handle anything they throw at us. No one will die. I'll protect Sarah. And Cocoon.
Does she look protected to you?
I can save her!
What can you possibly do?
Whatever it takes!
Ooh, me. You two are hopeless. You just can't admit it. You want to stay as much as he does. Huh? Whoa, whoa. No, no! No, 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 not now!
Hey, stand back! Hey.
I wonder, is this the machine that we saw earlier? Am I gonna do another tutorial for the paradigm system? Okay, this is probably the first battle where I'm really gonna have to switch around with the paradigm system in order to keep my characters alive. Although this is a little bit overkill what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna get Vanille to heal everybody up. And Snow's gonna prevent damage to an extent.
Stay sharp.
Staggered.
Just stay out of my way.
It's already staggered, so I'm gonna put Lightning and Snow on Commando, and Vanille's gonna be a Ravager, because that's really the only damage she can do. Also notice that we have 3 points for Lightning instead of 2 to use. Battle's pretty much over.
You're leaving?
We want to help Sarah too. But without tools, we could be digging for days. The army's on our trail. So for now, we gotta keep moving. For now.
So I just abandon her and save myself?
What about your focus? What happened to banding together and saving the world? Isn't that what you promised? Now you want to forget it all and die right here? Snow, you're nothing but talk.
Lightning! I'll do whatever it takes. I'll finish this focus and keep Sarah safe. That's my promise.
Great job so far.
Stay out of trouble.
You too.
Get going.
But...
Later.
Okay.
Snow...
Save it for next time, kiddo. You'll get left behind.
But...
It's okay, Hope. Light'll take care of you. We'll meet again.
yeah. Count on it.
I'll get you out of there.